NF, the American rapper who's popularly known for expressing his raw emotions and honesty through lyrics in his music. But before he was even popular and got into the spotlight, he had no easy day to his way to success.
Veterinarian. When I grow up, I'm going to be a flapper.
In 30 March 1991, Nathan John Feuerstein was born. He was born in Saginaw, a city in the US state of Michigan, and soon moved to Gladwin in the same state, and that where he spent most of his early life. He had difficult childhood growing up. His parents divorced when he was very young. He and his two sisters lived with their mother, who was addicted to opioid. One of her mother's boyfriends physically abused him, and one of his sisters, so his father took the three children away. Due to strained relations, the children did not see their mother much. Due to his mother's addiction, the court ordered that a social worker should monitor their conversation, but Nate didn't like that, so he severed contact with his mother, because he felt uncomfortable. In 2002, he fell in love with music, and when he was 12, he started to write his own.
I fell in love with listening to music probably when I was around 11. I developed a passion for I love this, I don't know, it makes me feel something. And then around 12 years old, I wanted more, so I just started writing my own music. It sucked really bad. All I listened to for 4 years straight was Eminem, and that was it, you know? And obviously, when that's all you listen to, it's a huge, he was a huge influence, so it was you could hear it in my music too much. But I didn't understand that, I was just oh, I want to rap this way,
He attended the Gladwin High School, and graduated in 2009. He was a part of the school basketball team. He was really sad that his mother never went to his graduation. Sadly, in 2009, his mother died of drug overdose. She was found laying on the floor.
And now it's just kind of I think because I'm older and I look at life with more of an open mind instead of just what I'm thinking all the time. And I look at that scenario and I think about my mom and her position that she was in. You know what I mean? So a lot of people, I think, get addicted to things because they're running from something. And I don't know everything, personal about my mom, but I just have a lot more empathy and compassion because I think my mom had a lot of things she struggled with inside, and I kind of related to my own life. Doing this as a career and having one of the roughest mental years last year of my life,
He continued with his music and was involved in some competitions. He played at the Fine Arts Festival with the Connection Church in Canton, Michigan. In 2008, he won a second place in a nationwide Fine Arts Festival rap competition, and won the first place in Michigan in 2009.
My God can save you, I'm being serious, yo. I used to live like I ain't got a reason. Talk about God, I was like, I don't really need him. Knew he's right in front of me, but didn't want to see him. Now I realize I'm nothing without Jesus. I got Jesus, and nothing in this world is coming between us. I'ma let it out, this ain't no secret. So everybody put your hands up and scream it. Yeah.
During his struggling years, Nate worked as an electrician to earn a living.
Before you became who you are now, what regular job did you have?
I used to do electrical work. I ran wires in houses and climbed in attics and crawl spaces.
Did you ever get fired? Or did you quit quite as abruptly?
I did kind of get gently fired with my boss, who I'm like actually close with.
What happened?
Honestly, I just wasn't focused. I wanted.
Did you electrocute somebody?
I wanted to do this. I wanted to do music, so I wasn't really focused.
His music career began to take off and got to the eyes of many people in 2010, when he independently released his first debut album called Moments. It has 13 songs. The album was noticed, and he was approached by the recording label, Xist Music, and in 2012 he was signed for a recording deal. By this time, he had taken up the stage name, NF. The music company announced his extended play, NF, but due to some dispute, it was not released. But on the 1st of May 2012, Xist Music finally released an extended play by NF called I'm Free. He left the label way before they even released the EP I'm Free, because he felt like his music wasn't promoted enough. He did not sign with any label for the next 2 years. He worked with local producer Tommy Prophet.
I ended up going back to work. My producer that I worked with from the beginning, basically, Tommy, I'd go to his house and I'd do like 4 songs, and I still remember the story. Him and I laugh about it. We were like in his driveway, and I was like, man, so like, what do I gotta pay you for these 4 songs? And he was like, he had like a square. He was like, man, what about like 500, 600 bucks or something, you know? And like for 4 songs, that's nothing. And I just remember like sweating, like giving him that money, you know? But
just reeling it off.
Yeah,
like,
but I look back on it now and I'm like, I'm so happy I did that, and I'm so glad. Like, he's one of my best friends.
Well, you're here because of that. You know, it's an investment.
Exactly.
It's an investment.
Exactly. So I wouldn't tell people to not take risks.
In 2014, he signed with Capital CMG and released his extended play, NF. This became a hit, and it reached at number 12 on the Billboard's Christian albums, number 4 on top gospel albums, and number 15 on the top rap albums. The EP received 3.5 and more stars in various reviews. NF released his first studio album, Mansion, through Capital CMG on March 31st, 2015. It reached number 62 on the Billboard 200. He has contributed to the music of other artists, including Start Over by Fling.
Everybody's got a blank page, a story they're writing today, a wall that they're climbing. You can carry the past on your shoulders. You can start over regrets. No matter what you've gone through, Jesus, He gave it all to save you. He carried the cross on His shoulders, so you can start over. See, His love is deeper than the ocean floor.
And in the year 2015, NF met his soulmate, Bridget Dormus.
Nate and I have been together for over 2 years, and it's been great. Love of my life. How did we meet was a huge question from a lot of people. So I have a really great guy friend who lives out in LA. He had a app launch party where he had a couple different acts come out to perform, and I wasn't gonna go. Last minute, I decided I wanted to be there for him and support, so I bought a ticket like the day before I left. Jake said that he had found this rapper to perform that he was a huge fan of, NF, and he was really excited for me to watch him perform. And so that's where I met him. Afterwards, we just talked for a little bit. He was waiting for like a check or something. And so he just like asked me what I did for work, and I told him I was a health coach, and he made some joke about us eating steak and potatoes every day, healthy, typical guy joke. And then he had to go do an interview and he was gonna leave, and he told me beforehand that he was gonna get a Red Bull for the road. And if you know me well, you know like I absolutely hate Red Bull. I think it's disgusting. I'm not an energy drink person. I think that they're terrible for us. But I really wanted to have the opportunity to talk to him again because he seemed really sweet. So I was like, he was about to leave and I was like, I think you forgot your Red Bull. And he was like, oh yeah. So then we got to talking. Things got deep fast. He asked me if I was married, and I laughed at him and said no, and asked him if he was married. He said no, and then he asked me if he could give me his phone number. And I thought, you know, he was doing like a typical guy thing, like, wanting me to contact him, and I just gotten out of a long relationship, and I was like, if you want to pursue me, you can pursue me, so I'm just going to text you my name, but if you want to talk to me, you have to text me. And he was like, oh, I was just trying to give you my number, so in case you thought I was weird, then you wouldn't have to talk to me.
In April 2016, NF released his second studio album, Therapy Session, which has one of the saddest rap song, How Could You Leave Us?
The song about my mom dying when I was like 18 years old. The song that I wrote, I don't regret writing it. Still emotional to listen to. I don't know how old I was when I put that out. Maybe I was like 24, 25. I'm not sure. But being 28 now, looking at that song, I think I just look at that differently.
The album made it to number 12 on Billboard 200 and topped the rap album chart. It even invited the interest of popular rapper Logic.
This tour with Bobby or Logic or whatever, like, and Kyle, like, it's been super cool for me because first of all, you're playing in front of like massive crowds.
The following year, NF dropped his third studio album, Perception. It performed so well, it reached number 1 on Billboard 200. But a lot of people still didn't have a clue who NF was, so many assumed he's an industry plant.
Do you know NF by any chance?
Who's NF?
Okay, you don't.
See, you don't know.
Tell me who it is.
He's like the next Eminem.
A rapper?
Yeah,
NF?
yeah. NF.
In 2018, NF and Bridget Oramus finally got married and gave birth to their first child in August 2021.